Some more fan theories and ideas regarding Bray Wyatt have been coming out recently, so we'll take another look at some of the best ideas. We'll also check in on The Miz and Dexter, Saraya's shot at WWE, and more. Let's start things off with some new Bray Wyatt related ideas and theories. Let's go back to the Raw teaser from September 26, because where the teaser first popped up at was either a big coincidence or has a deeper connection. During the Maze Game teaser on SmackDown, patricide was one of the big words and themes behind that teaser. And we talked about it right after that edition of SmackDown. Patricide is the act of taking out one's father. There was some ties there to Bray Wyatt because he talked about that act during his early FCW promos. But there was another connection to that act with the Raw teaser. The QR code for the September 26th edition of Raw popped up on the screen as Dominik Mysterio was approaching his father, Rey Mysterio, with a chair. Dominik Mysterio is metaphorically committing patricide right now in their storyline. He didn't literally take out his father, but he did turn on him, betray him, and figuratively took his own father out. So for the following teaser to pop up in the middle of basically a patricide storyline was either a big coincidence or something that was done on purpose that sort of went over everyone's head just a bit. It's not to say that Dominik or the Judgment Day is behind the White Rabbit, because that's obviously not true. But the White Rabbit appears to be pointing out major things that he's talking about that's actively going on right now in WWE. The act of patricide with Dominik and Rey being one of those big things. If it is Bray Wyatt, maybe he relates to Dominik in a way. He knows what it's like to have that feeling towards his father. Bray Wyatt's character background story has been one of the richest stories of any WWE character in a long time. His life story was that they lived mostly in the woods, and his only family member that was there for him was his sister Abigail. Not his father, not his mother. So again, maybe there is a tie there. Maybe Bray does relate to Dominik. Or maybe it was just simply a coincidence that they decided to post a teaser during that exact moment. And that's basically been the theme and idea with all these teasers so far. It's either big coincidences or this is exactly what they want us to see. But obviously, it's hard to tell. Now let's stick with everything White Rabbit and Bray Wyatt related, but go to a completely different topic that would create another full circle moment. So with the Fiend Bray Wyatt, he had a lot of highlights and a lot of lowlights. One of those first huge lowlights, the big moment that basically proved WWE wasn't fully behind the character, was of course early 2020 when the Fiend lost to Goldberg. It was just devastatingly awful and ruined so many things that were going on back then. Right around this time, Bray Wyatt was just beginning to tease what the Fiend's weakness was, and the key to having a chance to defeat him. It was intriguing. Everyone was curious about this weakness to defeat him, but then Goldberg comes along to give the Fiend his first loss, and all that mystique and weakness story was instantly gone. This decision was made because Vince McMahon reportedly saw Goldberg versus Roman Reigns as the bigger match for WrestleMania 36, and didn't see the same thing with the Fiend versus Roman Reigns at that WrestleMania. So the decision was made for Goldberg to hand the Fiend his first loss, hold the Universal title for a few weeks, then drop it to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 36. The Fiend's character and mystique was thrown away for a match that actually ended up not happening at WrestleMania 36. So just everything around that situation was a mess. Then the Fiend's next year after that was just a constant roller coaster of big ups and downs. But everyone looks back at the Goldberg match as being the very first big blow to the Fiend. Sure, everything with Seth Rollins was even messy, but they corrected that and the Fiend walked out of that successful. But a loss to a superstar that was well into their 50s just seemed to be the real end of the Fiend. So the main theory with this idea is, what if they attempt to fix that? Goldberg recently appeared on WWE's The Bump to talk about several topics, including Roman Reigns, his contract status, and more. Goldberg revealed that he doesn't have any more matches left on his current deal. but there's been a lot of rumors and buzz about Goldberg possibly even appearing at November's Crown Jewel event. And assuming Goldberg does appear on the show in some capacity in Saudi Arabia, fans have been throwing around the idea of Bray Wyatt attacking Goldberg. Bray Wyatt getting his revenge on Goldberg by attacking him in the same ring, same arena, and same event, where Goldberg handed the Fiend that first loss. Another full circle moment of Bray Wyatt now being the one to embarrass Goldberg at Crown Jewel. It's an idea that fans are throwing around that really does make sense, and it would be a good start to get this second run for Bray Wyatt, for him to correct what was arguably the biggest wrong from his run as the Fiend. So it would be interesting if Bray Wyatt got revenge on Goldberg in the exact same ring where Goldberg basically put an end to the Fiend. As far as a quick check-in with The Miz and Dexter Lumis goes, not much has changed or progressed with the story since we talked about it. Dexter took out all of Miz's security guards, dressed up as a hockey statue, and put The Miz to sleep. That's it. So Miz and Dexter are basically playing hide and seek with each other every week on Raw, but the story is basically staying in place and not moving forward at all. A lot of people are still enjoying these comedic moments of Dexter always catching The Miz, and that's great. It's still entertaining, but from a storyline point of view, there's still absolutely nothing to talk about. So it started off extremely interesting. Here's the fired superstar who's desperately coming after The Miz. But then that's been it. We're still stuck at that same point that we've been at since mid-August with the story. So are they stalling for a big reveal, for a big event, for something White Rabbit related? It's hard to tell, but every week with The Miz and Dexter is basically just jogging in place. We're not moving anywhere with this story right now. Once it starts moving, maybe it'll get very interesting again, but for now, the story is basically beginning to flatline. Saraya recently made her second AEW Dynamite appearance, and she has fans talking from it. It was reported earlier in the week that she signed a 3-year deal with AEW. She came out to speak to explain what her role would be, and it wasn't really made clear, but she acted in a sort of GM sort of role. So maybe she'll be an on-screen authority figure like she was for SmackDown. But she had a line that she said on Dynamite about how it's great to finally have a boss that actually listens to her. And the back and forth jabs between AEW and WWE is something that the fans have become numb to. But for her to say it, it was pretty eye-opening and opening a big fan discussion. She just finished posting a long emotional goodbye to WWE back in July, thanking them for her time there and taking a chance on her signing as a teenager, thanking them for how they were there for her during the days of 2016, and so much more. So for her to turn around and take a shot at WWE after saying all that was the surprising part there. That was the talk of the town for the night. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.